You are watching the Friday edition of Platinum Northwest TV News. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Philadelphia Mangoeng. Let's take a look at the leading top stories. First up, President Ramaphosa concludes his working trip to China, and Deputy President Paul Mashatile responds to oral questions. In the business news, South Africa's economy grows by 0.4% GDP in the second quarter. And in the sports news, Letsile Tebogo continues his stellar 200-meter victory run. We begin here. President Cyril Ramaphosa concluded his 3-day working trip to China alongside his delegation in what many say was an investor drive to bring in more funding to South Africa. President Ramaphosa spoke to the member of the media on conclusion of South Africa's visit to the People's Republic of China.
In terms of our interaction with President Xi Jinping, we also wanted to achieve the objective of increasing trade and improving trade between South Africa and China. We were able to sign up to 8 agreements, many of which have to do with increased and improved trade between our two countries. And that has led to the opening up of the Chinese market for South African products, particularly with regard to beef. The importation of beef into the Chinese market kept fluctuating as a number of parts in our country were affected by various livestock diseases such as foot and mouth diseases. So whenever such an occurrence would happen, they would ban the whole country. And we were now able to reach agreement that if there is outbreak of foot and mouth disease, it should just be restricted to one area and the country should not be banned. That for us is a great achievement in that it's going to lead to the increase of our agricultural products coming into China, and we should see increased production in South Africa. The other aspect, of course, is for manufactured goods and products to have an easier entry into China. We were able, through the agreements that we signed, that China would enable more and more manufactured goods from South Africa to be brought in. So that for us is an important.
In other news, Deputy President Paul Mashatile was asked about incidences of exchange of fire and fatal shooting between the SAPS members and alleged criminals in his reply to the oral question in the National Assembly, and this is what he had to say.
Minister Mchunu also indicated, together with General Masemula, that they are working on a police operational plan that will be rolled out similar to what they did in the Western Cape, will be replicated in all metros in the county. I think the immediate one I can think of that they said they will move to was Gqeberha. The operational plan will also include community policing forums, but also private security companies. There are a lot of private security companies that are involved in our communities, particularly in the suburb with what they call the neighborhood watch. You find a lot of private security companies that we have to pull that in to work with the metros and then the CPF and the police in general. Honorable Speaker, having appreciated the magnitude of the levels of criminality in the country, especially in provinces like KwaZulu-Natal, the National Commissioner of Police issued what they call national instruction. So he issued what at the moment is referred to as National Instruction 1 of 2016 on the use of force in effecting an arrest. And this is about how to regulate the use of force by police officials during arrests. This instruction clearly sets out the legal requirement that must be followed to ensure that the conduct of police officials is lawful and reasonable. The police are required to prevent, combat, and investigate crime, maintain public order, protect and secure the republic's inhabitants and property, and uphold and enforce the law as outlined in Section 205 of the country's constitution.
And with extortion and construction mafias on the rise in the country, the Deputy President responded to a question on how that will be dealt with.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, on the 27th of March, I addressed a criminal justice system review conference where, amongst other important matters, was the criminality in the construction sector. When delivering the keynote address, I stated the following: murderous construction mafias have brought many companies to their knees, and we must fight back to safeguard this industry. A concerted effort from all is necessary to unravel the complex web of construction site disruptions, which endangers lives and impedes the government objective of transforming the nation to a massive construction site that generates employment and expand the economy. That's what I said at that conference. Now, Honorable Deputy Speaker, in this regard, the South African Police Service, SAPS, has taken significant steps to address this issue by implementing a coordinated multidisciplinary response to criminal activities, including a special focus on the construction mafia in various provinces. An investigation capacity has been established to address extortion and violence at construction sites across the country, with a particular focus on KwaZulu-Natal, the Eastern Cape, and other areas where similar problems have been reported. Furthermore, the SAPS has partnered with various stakeholders, including state-owned companies, government departments, private security companies, and civil society to enhance their efforts in combating these criminal networks. Honorable Deputy Speaker, as government, we have committed ourselves to address this challenge through the introduction of policies that will curtail and eliminate mafias in the construction sector. This includes the National Infrastructure Plan, the Critical Infrastructure Program, the Social Facilitation Program, and also the Infrastructure Build Anti-Corruption Forum. The Infrastructure Build Anti-Corruption Forum in particular is another intervention that is yielding positive results to stop criminal activities by so-called construction mafia.
In more news, Tabetiro, the director of Tiro Attorneys and CSC Isaac Shima, the then acting director of corporate services at the Ditsobotla local municipality, appeared in the Lichtenburg Magistrates Court. The duo were arrested yesterday and are facing charges of fraud. Here's Lieutenant Colonel Tinyuko Matebula of the Hawks with more information.
The accused were arrested earlier on Thursday in Lichtenburg by members of the Mahikeng-based Serious Commercial Crime Investigation. Their arrest follows an investigation into allegations of fraud relating to the procurement of legal practitioners services for the municipality. In May 2021, Tiro attorneys allegedly submitted a request for payment to the municipality for legal services he had rendered. It was revealed during the investigation that Tiro attorneys did not render any services and that Shema and another suspect who is still at large allegedly approved the request for payment. As a result, the municipality suffered a loss of over 460,000 rand for services that were never rendered. The pair has appeared in court facing 4 counts of fraud and alternative theft charge. They have been remanded in custody and their matter was postponed to the 6th of September 2024 for formal bail application. The Northwest Provincial Head of the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, Major General Patrick Mboto, and the Director of Public Prosecutions in Northwest, Dr. Rachel Makari, have welcomed the arrest and subsequent court appearance of the accused. They have assured the public that the Hawks and NPA will not hesitate to act against public officials who are involved in fraud and corrupt activity.
In continental news now, it has been confirmed that by the Ugandan Athletics Federation that Rebecca Cheptegei, a marathon runner who competed in the Paris Olympics last month, has died days after she was burned by her boyfriend. The 33-year-old who lived in Kenya had been in a critical condition after suffering burns on 75% of her body following Sunday's attack at her house, the Western Trans-Nzoia country. Now, the International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach said her participation at the Games was a source of inspiration, pride and joy, adding that he was shocked and deeply saddened to learn about her death. Let's take a look now at the business news. In the business news, South Africa's economy grew slightly in the second quarter of 2024, a recovery aided by no load shedding after remaining flat in the first quarter. According to statistics, South Africa GDP expanded by 0.4% in the period under review after failing to grow in the first 3 months of the year, a period that was still marked by power outages. Star South Africa revised the first quarter number up slightly, having earlier reported a 0.1% contraction. The country has had 161 straight days without power cuts and only 83 days of load shedding this year, according to the outlier.
We are saying that we see our GDP from the production side as well as expenditure on GDP moving in the same direction. There's a congruence in the way they move. When they go down together. When they recover together. And we are saying that our economy expanded by 0.4% in the second quarter of.
And that's all from the business news. Your sports follows next. In athletic news, Olympian champion Letsile Tebogo highlighted his class, beating a stellar field with another come-from-behind victory at the Zurich Diamond League meeting. Tebogo brushed off the chilly conditions to scorch to a winning time of 19.55 seconds, beating Olympic silver medalist Kenny Bretnock at the line. Now, Bednarek followed on his heels in a personal best of 19.57 seconds with compatriot. Let's take a look.
The Olympic champion Tebogo then in lane 6 in the orange. Olympic champion at 200 metres, and Bednarek has got the jump on him at the moment in the headband. They come round into the straight. Knighton's got some work to do. Bednarek is strong, remember. He's a fabulous 400-metre runner. But can Tebogo get back to him? Here he comes. Is there going to be enough track? Yes, there is. Times it to perfection yet again. He loves this distance. He's a growing force at 100, but he's almost the finished article at 200. Is Letsile Tebogo, former footballer, his nickname Schoolboy. I don't suppose any of the lads behind him there tonight would have been too happy with being beaten by a schoolboy, but that time again, Steve.
In the women's 100-meter event, Shari Richardson edged Gillian Alfred, and now the US world champion came back from a slow start to ease past second-placed Alfred in the final stages of the women's 100-meter race, reversing the results from the Paris 2024 final. Here's more.
Good start from Alfred. She's away now. Really good start from Dina Asher-Smith as well. Asher-Smith leading the moment. Are they coming back at her? Yes, here comes Richardson. And Richardson takes it. Richardson and Alfred both easing past Asher-Smith in the last 20. And Richardson does get that little bit of revenge.
You know, this is a part of the race where you know, Dina's such a good starter, but she is now really moving through the gears in the race really well, and then staying with a good pace to the end and almost hanging on for the win here. But Richardson, the great competitor that she is, you shouldn't really doubt that. You know, remember what she did in the World Championships in lane 9 last year.
To the Paralympics now. Despite breaking the T44 long jump world record at the Stade de France, Mpumelelo Mhlongo finished only 5th, a result shaped by the complexities of the Paralympic classification system. Mhlongo, already the T44 world record holder with a jump of 7.07 meter, faced stiff competition from T62 and T64 athletes. Team South Africa added 2 more bronze medals to their tally at the Paris 2024 Paralympics on Wednesday. Cyclist Peter de Vries secured bronze in the men's H1 individual time trial, while wheelchair tennis duo Donald Rampadi and Lucas Setole shone in the quad doubles, winning a bronze medal, boosting Team South Africa's medal count to 4. And that's it from us for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back again on Monday evening. Till then, good night and take care.